English translation, 354th contact, Friday, 12th of March 2004, 00:43 hours.
Well, dear friend, you are back. Be heartily welcomed and greeted. The jobs are done, so you can take them with you.
Greetings, my friend. Thank you for your welcome, and for the completed work that is already expected from our spirit leadership. All their thanks and greetings to you.
You are welcome, and no one owes me thanks. But tell me, what do you now think about the matter of the man Quiver, with whom R. Schenk got involved? Did you study all the copies?
I have. Also, the nonsensical book with the confused calculations and claims of the man, which I took the liberty of copying from Guido. I have also thoroughly studied the copies of the writings he sent you, which you yourself did not read. The man is obviously a self-important and arrogant fantasist who thinks he is infallible in his megalomania. Obviously, he is not quite right in the head, if I may express it in these mild words. The same is true of Schenk, a man who indulges in fantasies that are completely out of touch with reality, who tries to convince him of the existence of others who think they are big and knowledgeable and want to be considered more than they really are, and who are truly stupid and ignorant. All the writings to you and the whole book of the man are nonsensical and devoid of any reality. I, for my part, have found it necessary to bring the whole matter before the High Council in order to have the Arahat Athersata level clarify what is the connection between the two men, the writer of the book and the letters to you and R. Schenk. In this connection, clarifications from the higher levels revealed that the two men are two pure earth-born beings of ordinary average consciousness, who are not yet able to grasp and understand the effective truth of the creational laws. This is also the reason for the absurd and untruthful thoughts and writings of the two men.
That is what I thought, as did Guido and various group members. But tell me, what do you think about the terrorist attack in Spain, which killed about 200 innocent people?
I would like to speak in the language that such terrorist criminals deserve. These include both the members and masterminds of their own religious and political terror, but also the warmongering and warring powers and their followers, both in their own country and in foreign countries. This applies to the criminals of humanity, George W. Bush, Ariel Sharon, Yasser Arafat, the Spaniard Aznar, and the British Tony Blair, as well as the irresponsible powers in Italy and Poland and in other states. But France, Germany, and Switzerland are equally likely to be at risk. Switzerland is on the terrorist list in terms of its membership of the UN, its pro-Americanism, and its desire to join the dictatorial European Union. Germany is also carrying out state terror against Switzerland with its northern approach ban to Cloten Airport, its impossible border controls, and various other things in order to force Switzerland into the Schengen Agreement and the EU. But this is neither realized by the stupid Swiss EU supporters from the people, nor by those blinded and lax governments who put up with everything from the EU dictatorship and do not defend themselves with suitable antidotes. But there are also the criminal Basque and Irish underground fighters and many others of the same kind in various countries around the world. All in all, it is a cowardly terrorist pack that harasses the innocent population and mercilessly murders many innocent people. And indeed, these terrorists are the spawn of their own cowardice, who can only slaughter the defenseless. Just like the criminal state powers, who, as state-tolerated terrorists and criminals of humanity, have innocent people murdered by their military and secret services, so do all the powers of the terrorist organizations. Furthermore, it must be said that the powers of the terrorist organizations and their henchmen, as well as individual, Perpetrators are so cowardly with regard to terror that they only dare to approach innocent and defenseless humans in order to murder them by suicide bombings or other acts of terrorism, because in their cowardice they do not dare to approach the irresponsible state powers. Who are the real culprits of the fact that terror and wars prevail and tens of thousands of innocent humans, children, women, and men are murdered? The criminal state powers and their relatives, as well as their followers, are protected with all imaginable and with enormous financial means, which is why it is difficult to get hold of them. This in turn leads to the cowardice of the actual terrorists and suicide bombers, as a result of which they attack the innocent population and sow 1,000 deaths, in the stupid, primitive, and idiotic opinion that they could thereby hit the criminal state powers and change something. But with this erroneous view, everything is only made worse, because the state-mighty murderous creatures strike back with even worse terrorist attacks, breaking out wars from the stacks and using ever more deadly and destructive weapons. There can only be peace and tranquility if the people take power away from the state powers, and these can no longer independently determine and unleash war and terror. The only resulting solution is that only the people have to decide about all things, and never the powers of the state themselves. Governments must be formed in such a manner that the people appoint representatives who are connected to the people and who only govern according to the will of the people or only implement the will of the people in reality. Throughout the ages, all human history has proven that peoples never strive for war and terror, but only for peace and freedom, love and harmony. Only depraved state powers and Oscar-ardent ones who have gotten very badly out of control of their good human nature, separatists, have always been those who long for war and terror and for independent, autocratic, irresponsible, and selfish power.
Strong words, my friend, but they hit the nail on the head. And as I think it is the case today, separatists actually play the smallest role when you look at all the countries where they appear. The really big evils in terms of war and terror come from the US, as well as from Israel and the extreme Palestinians and other lunatics. However, even there, it is only those irresponsible elements who wage war and advocate terror who are completely blinded, pathologically of low intelligence, stultified and dim in terms of justice and humanity, etc. So it is all those who are criminal and merciless in their thoughts and feelings, the depraved, and those who have gotten very badly out of control of their good human nature. And the greatest evil in our world is US America, which acts as a world police force and attacks foreign countries in a warlike terrorist fashion in order to bring death, murder, destruction, and annihilation to countless humans and their land, possessions, and property. Although there are many very good and valuable humans in the United States of America, who are against every war and terror, and against every injustice, and also against the death penalty, also in relation to their own government as the originator of all such crimes, they are powerless as a minority. If they speak out and raise their concerns, they will be shouted down, or even have to fear for their freedom or for their lives. But the conduct of all those Americans who are in favor of war, terror, the death penalty, injustice, and the American addiction to world domination, together with their similar government and similar military and secret services, bear the responsibility for the greatest warlike and terrorist evils in the world. They bear the guilt of today's worldwide terror, the guilt of the terrorists' tremendous terrorist acts and the worldwide, widespread hatred against the USA, which also leads to the involvement and killing of many innocent American citizens in terrorist acts. And only when the USA finally withdraws from the world and remains only in its own country, militarily as well as politically, economically and religiously, will there be a certain calm in the world situation, from which one far-off day real peace as well as freedom and harmony among peoples and individuals can then emerge. But this time is still far away, because it is still the case that those who sympathize with the USA, who are good friends with the USA, who cooperate criminally or in any other wise with this state, who tolerate unjust Americans in their own country, who follow the U.S.-American line, who play the same tune, and who provide U.S.-American war aid, are hit by organized terrorism and are called to account. So it can only be that those who completely distance themselves from America's political, economic, and religious, as well as unjust, criminal, inhuman, and irresponsible machinations, will be spared.
How right you are in what you say, my friend.
I would prefer not to be right. It is just horrible what is happening in this world. Countless humans are full of hatred, unkindness, falsehood, meanness, irresponsibility, envy, lack of compassion, murder, vengefulness, and the desire for revenge. 10 immensely evil, unworthy things that no other evil can equal, although there are many others of them that are also reprehensible. Unfortunately, in their limited intellect, the Earth human in general has not yet matured to such an extent that they really understand true love, true peace, freedom, and harmony. Although humans, in their existence, strive for happiness, joy, and try to avoid pain, suffering, and sorrow, they are not willing to find the way to it and to walk it. They are captivated by their hunt for riches, lust, vices, and pleasures, as well as trapped in their vices and all lowly, unworthy things, although it would be possible for them to free themselves from them and turn to true life and truth. Even within the framework of their limited life experience, the terrestrial human being could achieve joy, happiness, peace, love, freedom, and harmony, build up a positive outlook and mindset, and maintain this throughout their life. If only they wanted to and could free themselves from their vices, which they erroneously consider so valuable. Virtues and all high values are highly important and valuable, and these must be striven for if an effectively positive goal is to be achieved. And the best manner in which to achieve this goal is through meditation, through which all virtues and all other high values can be easily acquired. Even though meditation can sometimes consist of creating internalization, peace, freedom, and harmony within oneself, or taking a firm attitude towards the outside, spreading freedom and harmony as well as love, it also aims to develop ever new positive thoughts and feelings, to hold on to them and to bring them to the outside. This also means that the person takes himself or herself seriously and is concerned about their physical, consciousness-based, and psychical well-being to a suitable and appropriate degree and in the right framework, but also considers this to be their duty towards their neighbor and towards all fellow human beings and thinks and works for them to the same extent. Therefore, the Earth human must learn to do good in every respect, but on the other hand, also to face all the evils to which they are exposed in the right manner, and to bear them with composure within an appropriate framework, but always striving to make the best of everything.
Your words correspond to your honest disposition, but they should be taken note of and obeyed by the human beings of the earth. But now, dear friend, I have some things to discuss with you that are only for us.
Of course, I am all ears.